What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Panfro Games. In today's video, we're going to be talking about all of the leaked Pokemon for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So we know there's 20 new Pokemon coming to the game at the very least, but some of you don't know all of the leaked Pokemon. I want to share this information with you guys. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like the video. I really appreciate it. If you're not following the marketing cycle for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, we have seen exactly 20 new Pokemon coming to this game. 20 does seem like a lot, but when we actually see the full dex number, it ends up being 109 new Pokemon. It's really 105, and 4 of them are new forms. We've seen the new Wooper form, which shares a dex entry with regular Wooper, and there's also 3 brand new Tauros forms, which will also share the same dex entry with Tauros. So technically, only 105 new Pokemon, but that is a lot of new Pokemon compared to the other Pokemon games. However, this marketing cycle has been pretty slow considering that the game is coming out in about 3 weeks, and we haven't even seen a fourth of the dex yet. And I'm afraid that we're going to see most of the decks, or even just that fourth of the decks, from the data mine leak and just general leaks coming up from other people who've gotten the game early, which is okay. I'll be covering those as well on the channel. But right now, these are the 20 that we know, and personally, I am really excited. Farigiraf looks awesome. The legendaries are pretty sick to me. I'm a big fan of Satitan. I think there's a lot of hype behind that. Armaroos and Cyroludes right now are my #1 big picks. But of course, you're here to see all of the leaked Pokemon, right? And right now, when we look at all of the Pokemon, there is a lot. So we actually know the types for most of these Pokemon. We do not know their abilities. We do not know their base stats yet, but at the moment, we do know the Pokemon. Beginning with the starter Pokemon, we know their final types and we know what they're going to be based on. So Sprigatito is going to be grass and dark, and it's gonna be like a jester magician. It's gonna be like a trickster prankster Pokemon, and apparently it's gonna have a really OP ability, maybe something like Protean, who knows. Fuecoco is gonna be like a undead singer. It's gonna be bipedal, but it's also gonna go in all fours. The other 2 starters are gonna be bipedal, so if you're against bipedal, then Fuecoco is probably your best bet. It's going to be Fire and Ghost. Then Quaxly's final evolution is going to be Water and Fighting, which is great offensive typing. Very looking forward to that a lot personally. And it's also going to be based off a Carnival Dancer. Now, Lechonk's evolution has a male and female aspect to it. They're going to look different. We don't know if that's going to mean different stats. Reminds me of Indeedee, because Indeedee had different stats for male and female, and also different moves it could learn too. So this could be interesting. It could also be a pure normal type. Next up is the Pawmi line, which I'm actually really excited about because it's a 3-stage Pokemon and it's going to be electric and fighting, which is a really awesome type combination. And its signature move will actually allow you to revive one of your knocked out Pokemon, which is awesome. And it doesn't even knock itself out to do that revival. So that's going to be really great for competitive play and potentially a monster in VGC. Smoliv is going to be 3-stage. It's going to still be normal in grass. We heard from Riddler Coup that's not going to end up being a good Pokemon. It's going to be one of those mid Pokemon, and I sort of do believe it. And then we got the doggies. So we got Fido, and it evolves once. We got Grievard, which evolves once, and then there's a Dark Dog, which I did mention in my previous video. And all these Pokemon are going to keep their type, and they're going to evolve once. I'm really excited to see what the Dark Dog is going to look like. I do think it's going to be a Cerberus. And then we have a Monotype Spider. Doesn't have anything else going for it. Evolves once. I am excited for the spider because apparently it's going to be more based on like a web orb type of spider. It's going to be very web based. So I'm very interested. I don't think it's going to end up being too good. And then we have 2 other bug type Pokemon joining us. And we got the beetle Pokemon, which apparently is going to be like a Scarab Beetle. That's going to become a bug and psychic type. This is the same typing as Orbeetle, who is not actually in Scarlet and Violet from the returning Pokemon list. So I wonder like why this thing's going to exist personally. I just don't think bug and psychic's that interesting, especially because he just got it. However, the Common Rider Pokemon is going to be amazing. This is a Cricket that's going to turn into a Common Rider Pokemon, which is essentially like a Power Ranger for those in North America. And we've never seen Bug and Dark before, so I'm very excited for this brand new type combination. Then our regional bird is going to be a Seagull, and it's going to be electric and flying, and that is phenomenal typing. And apparently the leaker said it was really good. That is Zapdos typing, which in Zapdos is an absolute monster in singles play. It's just great defensive typing, and this thing is fast, it has high special attack. It can actually be a pretty much of a beast. Then we have the Parakeet Pokemon, which is apparently just normal and flying, but we did see this leaked on the minimap in one of the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailers, and we do know that's going to have different colors. So I wonder how many colors. Maybe it'll have a flock form or something. We just don't know. And then we saw a leaked image of the Flamingo Pokemon, and that is apparently going to be flying and fighting, which is really good typing. That is Hawlucha typing, and I don't know if I'll like it more than Hawlucha. We need to see more of it, but I am interested in a fighting Flamingo. Then there is a pure Psychic Ostrich, which is going to be used by Gita on her final team, the champion. And then Satitan we saw, and then the pre-evolution of Satitan, which is both going to be pure ice. And apparently Satitan's lore is back in the day, it was a Whelmer, and then these Whelmer went onto the shore, and then they became ice type. So that's really cool lore. Then we got a dolphin Pokemon, mono water, but it has two forms. They're not version exclusive forms, and one of them is bipedal and looks like a superhero. And then we saw Bellybolt officially, but apparently Bellybolt has a pre-evolved form, which makes a lot of sense. It's a frog, and that pre-evolved form is apparently like a filament for a light bulb that looks like a tadpole. And then there is a hike fish, which is a psychic water type of fish. It's like a sort of looks like a barracuda, very sharp and ferocious, and it's going to be used by Gita as well on her final team. And then we have the Fairy Steel Pink Hammer Pokemon, which is an ace of the Elite Four. This apparently is going to be OP, and I can already tell you that because Fairy Steel is the best type combination in Pokemon and is an early game Pokemon too. So I'm really excited to put this thing on my team. And then there's the Coin Pokemon, which we know is a ghost type, potentially gets a dual typing of Steel. We aren't sure yet. And it's not actually a coin. The thing is, we're going to be collecting coins around the map, and we've actually seen a image of this in one of the Pokemon trailers too, and it looks like an item finder. So we're going to use the Pokemon to find more coins, and the more coins it gets, the bigger it'll get, and eventually it'll evolve, and then we can actually use it in its final form. And then we get a brand new type combination with the Hot Pepper Pokemon, Grass and Fire, finally a type I've been waiting for a long time. I really hope it's cool. We don't know too much about it, but we know it's going to have like 2 heads, so hopefully it's going to be a good Pokemon. I want to use it on my team. And then Armarouge Ceruledge. I mean, this is probably the most controversial Pokemon on deciding, do you want Scarlet or Violet? I mean, I'm probably going to lean Violet because of Ceruledge, but I'm getting both. Then we have the Crystal Flower, which is Poison and Rock, same typing as Nihilego, which is really sick. And it's going to be a late game Pokemon, so don't try to add it in your team. Is apparently going to be really good. And then we have the Rock Salt Pokemon, which did leak in that Scarlet and Violet trailer on the minimap, just like the bird did. And it's going to evolve twice. It's going to be Mono Rock. We don't know too much about it, but it's very Minecrafty to it. And then the Engine Pokemon, which we have seen in like 4 trailers at this point, which is going to be Poison and Steel. It's going to have a pre-evolved form, but apparently it's going to be more like Rotom, where it's going to be able to change its form into whatever vehicle it's in. Don't know if we can get those different forms. It may just be boss forms for Team Star, but we'll have to wait and see. Then there's the Tumbleweed Pokemon, which is going to be Grass and Ghost, which more Grass and Ghost types are coming to Pokemon. That's pretty cool. Haven't heard too much about it. Could be Grass Gym Leader's ace Pokemon. He does have a Thorn Whip, so we're thinking the Tumbleweed is going to be a bit thorny. Then we got Giraffe which is Poison and Normal, brand new type combination. We know it has a pre-evolution, and it actually seems like it could potentially be a really good Pokemon too, so that could potentially make my team as well. And then we get the Mouse Couple, which also leaked on the mini-map in that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer, and it evolves, and we know that its ability is going to be a Parental Bond. Apparently, it has 2 forms, a family of 3 and a family of 4. We do not know what the actual difference is, if it affects stats or anything or moves. Now for our Titan Pokemon, we got Cloth, we have a Steel-type Earthworm, we have a Flying Dart Crane, and a Water Dragon Sushi Fish and a Sushi Master. These are 2 separate Pokemon, but they're going to be in the same boss fight together, and the Sushi Fish is apparently going to be really OP, and it's the last Titan we fight. There are 5 Titans. The 4th Titan is apparently going to be Paradox Donphan, whatever your version exclusive is for Scarlet or Violet. There are 2 different Donphans. And then we got 2 convergent species. We don't have an official term for what they are, but we got Wiglet, and then it's going to evolve into Wig Trio. We don't know if it's going to be Mono Water. I think it's going to be Mono Water because, you know, Diglett is just Mono Ground. And then there is a Tentacruel for this region, which is same like Wiglet. It's not like Diglett or Tentacool in this case, but it looks like it, and it's going to have a completely different typing. And apparently, it's going to be Grass and Ground. So I'm really hyped for that. That's going to be really cool. I love Tentacruel, one of my favorite Pokemon, so that's awesome. Then the pseudo legendary is going to be Ice and Dragon, endgame Pokemon, of course. I think it's going to be phenomenal. We don't know too much about it, but Ice and Dragon is phenomenal offensive typing, so I'm super excited for that. And now for our evolutions, and we get a new Primeape evolution, which is going to be, apparently, Primeape needs to be knocked out in battles somehow, and then it will evolve into a Ghost and Fighting type. Then Pawniard will finally get a third evolution, so Biosharp evolves into a new Pokemon, still going to be Dark and Steel. Dunsparce gets an evolution, just like Girafarig did into a Farigiraf. Dunsparce is getting a new evolution. Apparently, it's going to be 2 forms. Don't know it's going to be exclusive forms of Scarlet or Violet. I do love me some Dunsparce. This is my homie Pokemon, so I literally cannot wait. That is definitely making my team for sure. And then we got Wooper, and then Wooper's going to have a new evolution that's not going to be Quagsire, but a brand new Pokemon, which is going to be Poison and Ground type. And we also have the regional forms of the Tauros, pure fighting, then fighting in fire, and then fighting in water. So a lot of fighting. They're all going to beat the regular Tauros because, you know, he's just pure normal. But I'm excited to see different Tauros. I hope one of them ends up being a Minotaur. And now for the Paradox Pokemon, where essentially this game's Ultra Beasts, and they're Pokemon that were created from someone's imagination. The ones in Scarlet are an ancient theme. The ones in Violet are a future theme. So Scarlet's going to get a grass something Amoonguss, a fairy something Jigglypuff, and this is a real image of the Jigglypuff straight up. A ghost fairy Mischievous, a bug fighting Volcarona, a dark dragon Salamence, a ground and potentially fighting Donphan, a Magneton, we don't know what the type, and the Suicune is going to be DLC for Scarlet. And then Violet is getting a water ice Delibird, a fairy fighting Gallade, a fighting and something Hariyama, a fire poison Volcarona, a Tranitar, we don't know what the type is yet. Donphan is going to be ground and maybe electric. Hydreigon is going to be fine and dark. And Virizion, we don't know what type is going to be yet. And then we have the last 4 legendary Pokemon, which is going to be essentially based on a Chinese mythos of like these 4 evil beasts. And it's going to be a dark fire fish, a dark ground deer, a dark ice leopard, and a dark grass snail. And apparently their abilities are all going to be really good. It's going to be similar to like Intimidate, but they're going to lower different stats potentially or even raise their own. The Paradox Pokemon all have similar abilities, something like Beast Boost, but you don't know exactly what it does, but they're all going to have like the same ability too. And of course, Koraidon, Miraidon, and Cyclizar. Cyclizar is clearly related to Koraidon and Miraidon, but it's like present day, and Koraidon and Miraidon are both like Paradox Pokemon, Pokemon of an imagination. And then there is a third legendary that's going to be in the DLC, and we do believe that typing is going to be Rock and Dragon, but we don't have any more information on that. But there we have it, guys. That is all of the new Pokemon for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, all 109 of them. So I cannot wait for this game. And we're going to be seeing leaks very soon. Like, we already got some leaks, but we're going to see leaks out in the wild. Some people are going to get the game from a mom and pop shop probably next weekend or even this weekend, open the game up and start blasting away. And we're going to see a lot of stuff here. So, of course, when things leak, come here. I got you. I'm going to post it, talk about it, and get hyped because I cannot wait for this game on November 18th. Well, guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and also like the video. It really helps me out. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a great one.